Well, I'm continuing with this topic of corporations because it's, I didn't know that there were these three incorporated cities: the Vatican City, the City of London, and the United States, D.C., Washington, or these city-states. So I was looking more into that. And then I went to sleep and was thinking more about it. And the scripture in Revelation that I believe I shared about the locusts that come out of the furnace, which a few years ago I thought, that seems like a reference to the industrial age, which is mid 1800s. Okay. So then I was thinking on this, oh wow, realization with this word corporation, which is corpse, the body, which we say is a body devoid of spirit or soul, is a corpse, okay? So then I was thinking about this, and then it made me remember this terminology that I alluded me in this chapter 9 of Revelation, okay? And it speaks about these locusts. So these locusts come out of the smoke, okay? So then I was thinking, oh, isn't that interesting? Because they say the Industrial Revolution really hit around 1840s, and then United States Corporation was formed 1871. So it's like, those locusts coming out, because the locusts, are like a stripping. Locusts just consume everything. And it really seems that in our day, the corporations have this incredible ability to just over extract everything, all the resources on earth. So then I was thinking about this a little bit more, and I decided to go back and read the account. And so I was looking at it, and then something stood out to me. And it said that these locusts, they had power in their tails to hurt men for 5 months. And I thought, 5 months, So I thought, what would that be in days, right? Just like how I found the number 144,000 days of bondage for the Israelites in Egypt. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look at that. So then it's 150 days. So then I thought, okay, a day for a year. Boom. Let's take 2021 and subtract 150 years, and you hit 1871. The year DC Corporation was formed 150 years ago. Okay, that got me really excited, okay? Because then I was looking up, this history of, the terminology of, corporations, and it's actually rooted in the Roman there was a reference back in, the 5th, 6th century. So that was a real shock to me, because all of a sudden now there is a consistent parallel that I'm seeing with modern global systems being metaphored in the book of Revelation in a way I had never, ever perceived before. Now, why this is significant to me is it's just a couple days ago, on a much larger scale, many people in the world and America are realizing or finding out about this incorporated state of DC. And then there was some papers, which I'd really like to see, more sources of this. Supposedly with these declassified documents, someone found a document signed by Donald Trump for the Corporation of DC, asking for bankruptcy protection in Florida, a Florida court. So then that's significant, okay? That's because this awareness of this corporate structure that's being used and how we are being used as stock, remember? And then it's like it speaks about this great city and how through this city all the goods of the world are traded, including human beings as both slaves and human souls, and that entire arrangement in the book of Revelation is said that it's going to stop, it's going to end, it's going to, when it's time for it to go, it goes quick. Okay? So what caught my attention is once I found the fact that I could find a number that would synchronize with the year 1871 when the Corporation of America, United States was formed, got my attention. And I hope it's getting everybody's attention because of these prophecies in Revelation. I don't know if anyone else has seen this. I'm just literally organically finding this, so have fun with me, okay? Now, the part that's significant in the sequence of time is because with the corporations, that and the locusts, that's under the fifth trumpet. Okay, so in the book of Revelation, it has trumpets, bowls, and seals that repeat, just like the Fibonacci sequences, repeating and matching. Okay, it's all about pattern recognition. Recognize the historical trends, how things grow, just like a tree, how it grows. Well, it seems that our civilizations follow patterns of growth and development. Okay, that's how I'm looking at this. Okay, I'm looking at these accounts in the Bible in that way. Metaphors of history. Okay, so then the sixth trumpet, once this thing with the locusts is kind of come to be understood, I believe is linked to the corporate structure, the next thing it speaks about is the great river Euphrates. Okay, and it starts speaking about this hour, day, and month, and year, and these four angels are released, and a third of mankind dies. Okay, and it speaks about this great river. It's very important because it's a water event. Okay, so the Bible uses water events highly symbolically as moments of potential paradigm changing. Okay, even an individual, okay, who might be baptized symbolically, as a believer, and they are baptized and they go in the water and come out. Okay, so on a very small scale, that's representing a paradigm change for the individual. Like one way of life is coming to an end and a new way of being is coming into existence. Okay, so from that small personal example all the way up to like the flood of Noah and the crossing of the Red Sea and then the crossing of the Jordan River, and then Jesus, being, the fact that when John the Baptist was here, and then they were all, the early church all were going to the Jordan River to get baptized, which was very symbolic for the Jews because they had physically as a nation come through the Jordan River. So then to be baptized in the Jordan River on a completely spiritual, metaphorical way now is so over and over, water events, highly symbolic of paradigm moments. So to have this Babylon the Great, who sits on many waters, and historically the actual city of Babylon, and Babylon has an actual city called, or not city, but river Euphrates. But it's like there's a literal, but there's a metaphor. And people are also referred to as water. And so it speaks in Revelation that this river of the Euphrates begins to dry up, and these kings who are in, alliance with Christ or the Spirit of Christ, the essence of the concept of being a sovereign, spiritual child of God or the universe, okay, comes into existence or changes direction and goes from one paradigm to the other at this moment when the Euphrates River begins to dry up. Because also the literal, there's a historical account in the Bible, ancient Babylon actually was conquered by the Medes and Persians, and they actually physically diverted the Euphrates River that was like a water guard, and they went on dry ground and took the capital. So this, I feel, we are now on the time of sadly, I do believe there is going to be a loss of life. And I think what we are now entering is the spiritual equivalence of an ark, okay, for the preservation of life. And we do not know how many people, it's not set, how many people make it and how many people might not make it. Okay, so that's why we need to maintain hope. And I don't think it's time to hold back anymore. I really think it's time for us to really speak from our heart now, our deepest truth. Because the worst case, people think we're crazy. That's okay. We can live with that. Lots of people are crazy. It's not the end of the world to be crazy. It's not the end of the world to be considered, oh, that's, you're a conspirator, you're that. Because if we're right and we speak now, we have the ability to possibly help a lot more people, because the most important thing to know is, what is our intention with saying this? Our intention, if our intention is to help, let that be our motivation. Let it not be to try to prove ourselves and prove this guy wrong. Let our intention be that we want to help. We want to inspire. We want to motivate. We want to give food for the soul to our fellow man, food for their mind to help stimulate free thought, okay? Let it be that. So I'm going to keep studying on this about the corporations, but the fact that 5 months the locusts reigned, for 5 months they inflicted this devastating harm, this total exploitation and eating up of the environment for 5 months. And 5 months is 150 days. And if we convert that a day to a year, from this, which I find very significant, that this information that United States is also a corporation through DC is really just now at this time of this last election really become known on a much larger scale. It's been known, but I think by very few people. And if we go back 150 years, it takes us to the year the DC corporation was formed. And I believe represents that third arm of the city of Babylon that was split in 3 parts. Because I also found that correlation with the ships and the merchants and who grew rich by her, all mourning over the devastation of this great city in 1 hour, and she's destroyed. I think it's all linked to this corporate structure that the common people are waking up to, that is really the entity in which the masses have been subjugated, have been exploited, have been put in bondage and servitude. We are living at a fantastic time. Give me some feedback on this. I hope this is as cool to you as it is to me. Goodbye, my friends. Talk to you soon.